What's up, y'all? It's TJ with Fake It or Make It. I hope everybody's doing well today. Got a pretty simple little video that I wanted to do here, and what I have is these 3 vintage thumb oilers, little oil cans, or as a good friend of mine calls them, tuk-tuk-tukas, because that's what they sound like. Tuk-tuk-tuka, tuk-tuk-tuka, tuk-tuk-tuka. So, but I believe they're called a thumb oiler, and from what I've found is that these were probably from the, I don't know, maybe early 1900s, 1920s, something like that. Couldn't really find a definitive answer. It really wasn't worth me going down the rabbit hole that far, but they do say, one of them says Singer, like the Singer sewing machines, and the other one does not have a mark on it that I can see. So it may just be a generic thumb oiler. So this is the one that I was kind of basing my dates off of, 1920s or so, the one that says Singer on it. This one I didn't even bother looking up because I'm sure it's relatively modern. It says Eagle, made in the USA. And what I want to do is just take them and clean them up, because what happens for me anyways is, you know, whenever you have a container of oil, and especially like gun oil, like right here, this top is constantly leaking, and you can see that the label's sloughed off, and it works okay, but I really like vintage stuff, and I have some gun oil that a buddy of mine made, handmade. So what I'd like to do is clean these old oilers up and get them to where I can use them on various things. One of them will probably just have gun oil in them. The other one will probably have 3-in-1 oil. Probably the biggest one, I'll put some 3-in-1 oil in that one, and then I don't know, maybe this third one I'll put, I don't know, some WD-40 or something in it. I don't know. But I just wanted to take you through the process of how I'm gonna clean these up and get them to where I can use them. Let's get it. one thing I find a lot of joy in is, I find it really fun, is to try and make do with what I have already in the shop. I can't all the time do that. Sometimes you just have to go out and buy something. But one thing I think will be a pretty neat experiment is, being this is just going to have maybe some gun oil in it or something, I'm going to try and make a gasket for it. I have this piece of stainless tubing, and I think you'll see where I'm going pretty soon. I also have these big rubber bands that I got on the clearance aisle. I had no idea what I was going to do with them, but they was like $1, so I got them from Lowe's off the clearance rack. And I think maybe, if I'm lucky, I could take one of these rubber bands and make a gasket, because this is pretty much the same diameter. It's just, this is a little bit, probably if I clean that inside edge up a little bit, it's kind of rolled over to the inside and the outside. If I clean that edge up on the inside and then sharpen a bevel around the circumference of this piece of pipe, I could make a punch and punch a hole into this rubber band, and then cut the outside circle out and make a gasket that way, and see if we can get it to seal off. So we'll go sharpen this piece of pipe up, cut me a smaller section off, and see if I could punch a hole in this rubber band. Alright y'all, that's it for this video. We have the Eagle larger size thumb oiler. It says made in USA. Turned out really nice. And we have one Singer that used to come with the Singer sewing machines, I think between the 20s and 30s, 1920s and 30s. And then we have another one that was just the same size as this Singer. No name brand stamped on it or anything. I think these little Singer oilers are actually collector's items for some of the crowd out there that collects Singer sewing machine stuff. But I happened to find this one in a box of junk and thought that was pretty neat, so I cleaned them up, and now I'll be able to use them and give them new life. This one, the large one, I put some wheat Kim. I had a big can of wheat Kim penetrant, rust penetrating oil in the shop, and it was out of the propellant that pushes the stuff out of the can, so I poked a hole in it and drained it off into this one, into this big can. And then in the Singer, the little one here, I got some gun oil, and then in the other small one I have some 3-in-1 oil, and I have them labeled on the bottom. I just wrote in Sharpie what they are, and all I have to do is, if I change what I put in them, is just take some alcohol, rub it off, and rewrite on the bottom of it. I think what my whole point kind of what this video was, is this was just a really simple, small project that only took me a couple hours to do, and you could definitely do it a lot, quicker than that. But the point is that there's a lot of fun to be had in finding cheap old stuff like this and just cleaning it up and being able to use it again. There's nothing wrong with these. I fixed some of the leaks. I learned a lot just working on this little project, and that's another large thing, is that you learn, and you need to always be learning. And I really just get a lot of satisfaction using some of these old tools and implements, and all the way just as simple as thumb oilers. I think that it's really important to be able to take these items and give them new life and use them, and just try and work with my hands and use my mind every single day, and try and learn every day. So I just want to encourage all of you to get outside, go out in your shop or your garage, find something that needs to be fixed and work on it. And if you work on something that's already broke, you can't break it anymore, really. I mean, you can, like if you try to take your lawnmower apart and put it back together, and you end up, it's one of those things you got to work into more complex and difficult projects. You kind of want to stay in your comfort zone and in your boundary, and not try and go too far too fast. But the more you learn with these small projects, each project you do next can be bigger and more complicated as you learn things. So you always have to start somewhere and start really small, and then each time you do another project, you get more and more complicated, and you'll do like I did and rebuild rebuild a complete tractor from inside and out, a full rebuild. So it's just a learning curve, and it takes a lot of practice and determination, and it's really a practice in being patient and being willing to open your mind and learn and gather as much information as you can from all the available sources that you have. But I appreciate all of you, and I invite you to hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, and go on over to the channel and hit the subscribe button. Like I said earlier, there's no telling what I'll be up to next. So I appreciate everybody. Y'all stay safe, and y'all come back now.